Hi guys, welcome to my video and my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about something super exciting. We're going to talk about how I got the pig companion into the game. And we're also going to talk about this badass AI system that I'm working on right now that makes the enemies just super awesome. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee and some popcorn and let's begin. So first of all, I needed to get the pig model over in Blender, and I needed to rig it, and I needed to create all the animations that it would need to get a good start here. So that is a walk cycle, it's a run cycle, it's standing still, idling, and some attacks. When that was done, I needed to make a new blueprint for the pig, and I needed to make a whole new AI system for the pig. This is the third or fourth time I'm recreating AI from scratch again. So it's not super fun, but I did it the last time on the spider enemies, and they still have a lot of problems. Like they keep interrupting whatever they're doing all the time. So if a spider is in the middle of an attack, then it can just decide to start another attack or to turn around in the middle of the attack. So nothing is really stopping the spider from interrupting itself all the time, which is actually super annoying. And I have tried to prevent this with a ton of branches that checks all kinds of stuff before it does something else, and it never really worked. So I figured I could just copy over the stuff that I know works from the spider and just paste it into the pig, and then add all the new AI elements on the pig as I needed it. So to try and solve this problem where the AI keeps interrupting itself now and then if something new is happening, like if something enters its trigger box, even if it's doing an attack, then it will do the trigger box code, right? So to prevent that, I have created an enum, an enumeration, which is just kind of a which is, I'm starting to talk about stuff I don't know anything about. But this is kind of my state machine, right? I tried once to do an AI with behavior trees and blackboards and tasks and all that, and it makes absolutely no sense to me. So I'm doing everything in blueprints, and I'm making my own behavior tree with an enum. So in this enum, I can make states like idling, like roaming, like chasing, like attacking. And I have also made a state that I called is busy. And this is the important one. I will use this is busy whenever the enemy is playing an animation montage, and just making sure that it cannot do anything else if this busy state is the active one. And I'm making an enum to prevent me having a shit ton of branches and bools to check if it's attacking, if it's idling, if it has sensed an enemy, if it's chasing, if it's all that stuff. I will just end up with a completely nonsense branching system where it checks a ton of stuff, where in an enum I can just set it to one state at a time. And then I have made this custom event called check state. So every time the AI is done, finished doing anything, I will go to the check state custom event every time to see what state it is in, and then the code will go on from that state that it is in. And I know now I'm starting to sound like one of these maniacs down in a dark basement just talking absolutely nonsense, so I will try and make this quick. So for example, this custom event I have, which is called check for enemies, which I'm firing off now and then to see if there's an enemy nearby. I will make sure that it cannot check, that event will not play if the AI is busy. If it's attacking, then I set it to is busy. And this is exactly what happened before. If a spider was doing an attack, then all of a sudden in the middle of the attack, it was sensing a new enemy. And then it started the whole sense enemy code, right? And I want to avoid that. So whenever I check for an enemy, if it's busy, it cannot check for the enemy. And I will make sure that this happens everywhere in the AI code. Whenever it's busy, it cannot do anything at all. And it works, guys. And that means that the pig companion Oink is now in the game. It can go around idling. It will always be around the area where GORM is. It will sniff the ground. I have recorded all the sounds for the pig myself, so that's a little embarrassing. But it's a good start, right? It means that when GORM is starting to run, the pig will know that and it will run with him. If there's an enemy in the range, the pig will know that and it will attack the enemy. When the enemy is killed, it will go back to GORM again, follow him. If GORM is not doing anything, it will start to roam around GORM, sniffing the ground, looking around, having a good time, okay? And as some of you might know, this is a magical pig, which means that it can teleport. So whenever it gets too far away from GORM, it will just teleport close to him. So it will never get stuck anywhere. It will always be around GORM. And that is awesome. Whenever an enemy comes into the pig's sense box, the pig will know and it will attack the enemy. Right now, the pig has 3 attacks. It just has a headbutt. It kind of just tries to punch the enemy with its nose, right? It has a face armor on, so it won't hurt itself. Then it has a dash attack, and then it has an area effect attack where it kind of magically floats up into the air and does a electrical magical damage ring, right? I made an awesome animation where it kind of looks like the pig is not really in control of what's going on here, but it doesn't last for so long, so it gets the control back when it lands on its feet again. So when the pig is in this state, which I have just called action, this is the action state, it will constantly calculate how far the enemy is from itself, and then it would use one of these 3 attacks. Like if the enemy is close, it will use the nose attack. If the enemy is in mid-range, it will use the dash attack. If the enemy is far away, it will use a ranged attack. Right now it doesn't have a ranged attack, so it will just move closer to the enemy. The pig also has a backward evade animation that it will just kind of play randomly instead of an attack now and then, just to get the pig to move around a little more. Right now it's kind of whenever the enemy is close, it will just do that nose attack again and again. And with that sound I recorded, it gets annoying really fast. Also, right now the pig can do damage, but it cannot take any damage, so it can never die right now. So it's a little unbalanced, but it's still super fun to run around fighting alongside with the pig. So the problem now is that I'm not sure if it's a problem or what it is, but the situation is that now that this new pig AI works so great, I can see all the flaws in the old AI, right? So I started on the rat. I wanted to make a new rat that was running on the pig AI. So I was thinking I will just call this pig blueprint from master AI character or something like that, and then base all the enemies from that. So every new enemy will be a child of this master AI character or whatever I ended up calling it. So I made the child rat enemy from the pig blueprint, and then I got everything to work except that the pig is able to do things like the rat is not able to do, like teleport. Right, so now I had a rat that teleports to GORM whenever he got too far away, and that is not that's not what I want. And then I started all this usual stuff that I should really not do. I made a bool called is enemy, I think, and if that bool is checked, then it cannot teleport, right? And then I ended up with a lot of other stuff that the rat should be able to do that the pig was not able to do, and everything just came crumbling down, which means I need a complete new AI system. And people keeps telling me to use these actor components. Why don't you just make it into an actor component and put it onto the character, and you have all all the code there, and you can use that on other characters too. And the thing is, I always have problems whenever different blueprints needs to communicate with each other, right? You can cast to different things, but what do you put into this thing called object, right? It's first recently I kind of started to understand what it all means. So I created this actor component anyways, even though I really did not want to go into that rabbit hole, right? To me, it's just a huge can of worms that will just end up destroying everything, right? That's how I feel about it, but I started doing it anyways. So I took all the good code from the pig blueprint and I put it into the actor component. And to keep this as simple as I could, I was only going to put in the AI stuff in this component, like the walking, the running, the detect enemy, the attacking. These things keep health and damage and skills and abilities out of it, so I can use this AI component on all characters I want to have AI in the game. So I call this component AI enemy component. Yeah, it's mind-blowing, I know. Again, what am I even talking about here? What am I babbling about? I don't know, guys. Is anyone still with me here? How many is watching? 2 people now? I don't know. Anyways, guys, to my surprise, this enemy AI component ended up working on the rat. All I needed to do is make the rat blueprint and then add the component. And then on begin play, I needed to set up the owner of the component, which the component is using the owner. And that's it. It worked. And guys, this is completely mind-blowing to me. I have no idea why this works, but for some reason it does. And again, so I made a new pig blueprint and added this component and set up the owner, and the pig was working. The only thing I need to do is to set up the animation montages, like the attacks, different attacks that character can do. When that is set up, it works. It works the same way. It detects the enemy the same way. It roams, it chases, it attacks the same way. I just need to set up the attack animations, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I also need to set up or type in the sense tag. What can this actor sense, right? If it's the pig, then it can sense all actors that has the tag enemy, right? And the enemy can sense all actors that has the tag friend. And that's basically all I need to do. And these 2 characters will just fight each other endlessly because they cannot take damage, so they will just keep fighting for an eternity. I also went in and made some improvement to the rat enemy, like I made this new animation where it can kind of roll and then turn around. And this animation is awesome because if I use that in the array where it's doing the close attacks, if I just put this in, then sometimes the enemy will just roll away and then turn around and then get ready for the next attack. So you just get an enemy that is very unpredictable, that moves around a lot on the battlefield here, right? Yeah, I know, guys, this is a lot to digest and I'm not explaining things very well here, but I have the absolute basic of an AI component that I can use from now on. And I will definitely try to make use of more actor components down the line. Like I want more functionality from an actor component. Like for example, the teleporting of the pig companion. I want to make that into an actor component because other characters need this as well. Like the things that you can summon, the zombie spider and the skeletons also need to teleport to GORM when they get too far away. And this would be awesome as a component. And I really need to be really smart about how I create stuff from now on and forward, because I'm a little sick and tired of going back and redo a ton of stuff just because I have learned a smarter way of doing it. And then I need to go back and fix the stuff I created 4 years ago. And that is a little annoying. I still have the whole player character. I almost want to redo him from scratch again, because there's so much legacy in there, there's so much dead stuff I'm not using. And you know, if you delete something in a blueprint, then the game just completely screws up and you are not able to start anything, because there was a reference to that whatever bool that is not getting used, but somehow it's getting used anyways, and then the game won't open. And I have tried that so many times. So maybe it's easier just to make a new player character from scratch again. I don't know. You see, you see the struggles I'm going through sometimes. It's nuts, guys. Anyways, this was a super weird video log to record. I have no idea what kind of footage I will cut into this. I'm just talking about blueprints for what, 20 minutes now? Does that even make any sense? I don't think so, but here we are. But I needed to make this video because I'm super excited about this new AI I have been creating in a freaking actor component, right? It's absolutely mind-blowing stuff. And these characters are just fighting each other and it looks awesome. The rat is constantly trying to get some distance between himself and whatever he's attacking. So he's rolling around, he's jumping back, he's using the different attacks depending on the distance to his enemy, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. And this is an extremely good base to build the whole enemy up around. Every enemy in the game should use these components I'm starting to create now. And also, guys, this is something I keep forgetting in all my videos. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel, give it a like. Please write in the comments what you think. That would be super awesome, right? And I also need to mention that I have a few tutorials on my channel, especially this spider walk cycle course I have created, where you learn how to animate a spider with 8 legs in Blender, step by step, the way I'm animating it. So please go and check that out if you want to learn to animate like a pro, okay? But that's it, guys. That is all I have for you today. So take good care of yourself and see you next time.